It's Enrico Pallazzo!
Utah, give me 2.
Pallazzo!
Well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are coming live to see us. This is the Pallazzo podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. We just got me and my man Britton Allan here. Britton's on the screen to that way. Britton's on my left or right, whatever. I can't tell the directions anymore. Britton, why don't you say hi to the people? Let's get this going.
Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy pre-opening day. What are we, like 3 days away? I'm so excited. I've got a draft tonight, Sam. I've got a draft Monday. I'm drafting right up until the very end to squeeze every last chance I can get for a Shohei Ohtani share. I have 0.0, but I'm trying to rectify that, my friend.
I love that. I love that. Pushing the envelope all the way till the end. We are true degenerates. And today is Sunday. Today is the first day of fab for a lot of leagues. That this is the time for everybody that drafted, like in the Earth leagues or even TGFBI. There are some picks that people are just going to want to get out and up. There's tons of fab leagues everywhere. I don't want to just pretend that those are the only two, but I'm real excited for some Sunday fab requests. Hey, I'm going to tell everybody, if you didn't get on Cole Young in your league, if he is sitting on the waiver wire, I realize I'm a Mariners, homer and everything, but that kid a couple nights ago hit a ball 478 feet and has been mashing the ball all spring. And March stats don't really count, but I feel good about it. I feel good.
Hey, man, success is better than failure. And if that's in the spring training, it's spring training. Like, so be it. I love it.
That's right. Do you have any names that you're targeting for fab? Is there anybody that you're hopeful to pick up?
Yeah, I've got some, especially my TGFBI. I've got like 3 players like Hurston Waldrop and some player that Andrew Salfrank. Like they can just be straight dropped, because they got injured since I drafted them. But hey, I wanted to go over a couple bitty bits of news with you real quick. Mike Tauchman for the New York Mets tore his meniscus the other day. And so people might think, I'm not drafting Mike Tauchman. That is correct. But are you drafting Carson Benj, the New York Mets #1 prospect? He's tooled up, man. 15 home runs, 20 stolen bases in the minor leagues. What do you think, Sammy? Are you into Carson Benj of the New York Mets?
I drafted Carson Benj in, I'm part of a 12-team head-to-head league, and I took a flyer on him in the first year player draft. We only have 2 rounds, and a lot of players that would be drafted in a 15-team roto first-year player draft aren't, but I think he is going to have a clear path to playing time. I don't think he bats 9 the whole season for the Mets. He'll probably move up to 6, 7, or 8 if he hits the way that he is. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing Benj and what he can do in that lineup, because he doesn't have to be the man. He just has to show up and be his best version of himself. And so if he keeps it simple, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's got the skills. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be successful, but he's having a killer spring. I mean, he's batting .368 with all the outfield starts he can handle. So, yeah, Carson Benj for the Mets, I'm kind of excited about. Some other bad news, Sam. Our boy, and I say our boy because I know you like him too, Kyle Stowers. Did you see the news on Kyle Stowers for the Marlins? He's going to be out like, he's going to be out like a couple months. It's terrible.
Yeah, it really, there were a lot of people expecting some real nice power numbers coming out of Miami from him, and outfield is so shallow after you get through the top 30, 40 players. And in a 15-team, 5 outfielder league, man, every player counts. So I'm bummed out to have him. I have a couple shares of him in Dynasty, and I'm scrambling to find who's going to fill that hole, so to speak, there.
Me too. And unfortunately, draft and hold leagues, that's just part of life. If you're like me and you started drafting back in December, because like you said, because I'm literally a degenerate baseball person. I have no life. I don't play golf. I don't have any hobbies. Fantasy baseball and baseball is literally what I like to do when I'm not working or with my family, obviously. But what about, I looked at the roster reforce for the Marlins. Griffin Conine, according to Craig Mish, who tweeted earlier today, that with Kyle Stowers out. Oh, and also Esteri Ruiz. Remember him?
I remember him. I loved him with Oakland. I'm so sad that Oakland derailed him that season when he wore that anti-Fisher t-shirt. Like,
ridiculous.
Oh,
how they treated him. But he's hurt too. So that's 2 outfielders in the Miami Marlins that are just going to be out for months. So Griffin Conine, according to Craig Mish, who's the beat writer down there, looks to have the biggest uptick in playing time. Do you have it? Now, I know Jeff Conine, right? But Griffin Conine, is he any good? What do you think?
I'm not as in on him, but I'm excited that if he gets playing time, that's really at the heart of where we look for value. Pathways to playing time. Are you going to get at bats? Do you have that opportunity to step forward and step up? And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's able to do. I don't think I'm going to be going after him, but you never know. Maybe in some of those leagues that I have Stowers, maybe I need to take a second and a third look at him.
One guy, I looked at Griffin Conine. I hope, Griffin Conan. It's not Conan O'Brien. Griffin Conine. His track record, he's just not that good. I'm afraid, Sam. I'm maybe he's good in real life. I don't know, but one guy I am kind of interested in, Heriberto Hernandez. Heriberto Hernandez. This is a 20 home run bat that you can literally get with the last pick in a 50-round draft in whole league. He's hit 20 home runs just like every single season he's been a professional. I'm kind of interested in old Heriberto Hernandez. Are you down with Herb?
He had some shine a few years ago as a prospect. I believe he came up with Tampa Bay as a catcher. Where's he at now? Because I stopped paying attention to him a year or two ago.
He's with the Marlins, and I'm looking at the lineup today, and they have Heriberto in left field, starting in left field, batting 5th for the Miami Marlins.
I like it. Miami's got a real eclectic collection of people behind their top tier talent, and just like with Conine, I don't know if he's got the juice to want to have him as somebody that I would be targeting in a draft higher up, but if you say you can get him at pick 50, I mean, that's found money if he does anything that helps you in the season. That's
a 20 home run bat at your very last pick of the draft. If he gets to playing time. But hey, man, that season hadn't even started, and Miami's already down 2 outfielders. Like, it's a long season. So keep Heriberto Hernandez on your radar just in case he gets that playing time, because he's a home run hitter. He's a power bat.
Yeah, you heard it from the genius here first, man. You're going to have those. And we forgot real quick. Let's get through some of the business that we have to get through. If this is your first time watching us on YouTube and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, give us 5-star reviews, help us help you. We are here to entertain, some education, but really we're just here to live our best lives with you. So as you watch us today, and as we talk about Tout Wars and our other things, feel free to come into the chats and chat with us. We're, like Britton said, we are baseball degenerates. I mean, can I get a witness?
This literally, I love talking about baseball. I love fantasy baseball. Opening day is my second favorite day of the year. What's my first? I'm not going to comment on that, but it's my second, but second's pretty good. So opening day baseball, I love it. I wish that they did all the teams on one day, starting at 11 a.m. Central, but they're doing a thing where they're playing one game on Wednesday. Which is fine, I guess. But and that's like an old cranky man thing. Well, it should all be on the same day. But I'll take it however I can get it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The phrase that I use is actionable data. We have been just marinating and conversing and looking at spreadsheets and staring at StatCast data and in DM threads, talking to people about players, but we're waiting. We want to see, we know what we saw in 2025. What's going to happen this year? What do we believe is going to happen this year? What are we going to be able to do? And Wednesday, it's 3 days, 3 more sleeps, and you get baseball.
I know, I'm pumped. Give me the baseball, baby. I'm so excited. But what's going on with you, man? Did you want to talk about some more news? Didier Fuentes, for all you Atlanta Braves fans out there, shout out Braves, the varsity in Atlanta, Georgia. Love the varsity, chili cheese dogs. Are you interested in Didier Fuentes?
I'm curious. I'm probably, he's somebody that I'm going to watch either succeed or fail on somebody else's roster, but he's got some interesting things going on for him. So I wish I could tell you something more than that, but I'm not.
He's killed it this spring. He's literally like the hottest spring pitcher, like Didier Fuentes. And I know that's not how you pronounce it. My apologies. I am not bilingual. I am unilingual. That's not even a word. But
Didier Fuentes, that sounds right.
Does it sound right? Well, we'll just run with that. Didier Fuentes, he's a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He made the roster. He's going to be on the opening day roster. He had the hottest spring of any pitcher. I think he's like literally, like 10 innings pitched, 0.0 ERA, and like 19 strikeouts. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Now he'll probably start in long relief, but look, if you look, I've said this before, if you look at the Braves roster or starting pitchers, Chris Sale, 39 years old, however old he is, Ronaldo Lopez. I mean, it's not, shall we say, the picture of health in Atlanta. So keep your eye on Didier Fuentes, like at the back end of your draft. I mean, in deeper leagues, obviously. I kind of like it because whoever goes on the IL first for the Atlanta Braves starting pitcher, Didier Fuentes is, come on down, as they used to say in my all-time favorite game show. I know Sam knows game shows.
That's right. I'm a big fan of the game shows. Born and raised on them. They were one of my uncles and aunts.
Bob Barker, baby, the coolest man ever.
That's right. Mike VA says fade Fuentes. And, I do agree with that sentiment a little bit, but I think Britton's onto something that Atlanta always, for the past 8 years, there are crazy names that come out of their prospect lists that just end up starting for them.
Schwellenbach, where'd he come from? Like, I mean, it's just worth a shot. You know what we say? Scared money don't make money. Sam is an extremely successful businessman, and it's not because he's scared. Scared money don't make money. Get Didier Fuentes. Why not? He's the last person on your bench. Who gives a shit? You're dropping that person anyway. So might as well go for an upside. You got to pay for that lotto ticket to win the lotto. You're not going to win if you don't have a ticket. I know that's a fact.
That's right. You came here for baseball knowledge, but really what we're doing is we're giving you some life knowledge here. We're really setting out the road for success, no matter what you do. Fantasy baseball, business, like do your thing, man. We are your hype crowd. We are the noise that you hear in the back of your head while you're walking down the street with your little funk going on.
Hell yeah, I got to walk that dog. Dog's not going to walk himself.
And the Bizza, the Rizza, and the Jizza says Spencer 2.0, and he was called up. Like, you never know. And this is my problem, is that March stats are always so enticing. Like you see somebody struggle in March and you're like, oh, I want to fade that. Or you see somebody that's doing well and you're like, oh man, I got to get that guy. I'm under that with Cole Young, right? Like I'm a believer in his March numbers, and we got to see what happens in April. I mean, even though we are going to have some games at the end of March all across baseball that actually count, April 1st seems to be the day that I'm really tuned in on. What happens in that month? What are they able to do? Are they able to play every day? Are they able to succeed? Can they ignore their failure? Do they think like a goldfish? Like what do they look like? So yeah, Fuentes could be fun.
Why not?
We have a whole bunch of people. Fade Fuentes doesn't have eyes.
They hate Fuentes. Everybody hates Fuentes but me. That's fine. I like it that way.
I love that. So we are here today because you and I got to share a very special event. And I don't know, honestly, I know how, and I don't know how you and I were chosen to be a part of Tout Wars in New York. Tout Wars is, for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, but Tout Wars is a league that's been operating out of New York since the late 90s. A lot of really, really good top-notch players that are there. And it's just this amazing community that I was blown away that I went to New York City and found a small, intimate group of people that were welcoming and accommodating and curious and friendly. So, Britton, why don't you, let's talk a few minutes before we get into the actual draft. Why don't you talk a little bit about what was your, outside of the draft room, do you have any stories? Is there anything that you got out of Tout Wars that you're going to hold on to you?
Absolutely. So I flew in on Saturday, and there were a bunch of drafts on Saturday and a couple of days before that. But I flew in on a Saturday, and there was like a little reception, a little party at a bar with all these, not all of them, because some people have different things to do, but a whole lot of Tout Wars people were at this bar having some food, having a couple beers, chilling out, just laughing, relaxing. So it was a lot of fun. You were there, obviously. So, we just got to meet everybody and talk to everybody. And to a soul, there was not anything remotely but a great interaction with everybody there. And it's just because people are easygoing and nice. Even the so-called, stars like like Frank Stanfill, like CBS and the Rates and Barrels, all that stuff. Everybody's just really cool, really nice. It can be intimidating because, I've been listening to these people for like every day for like 5 years. And now, now I'm trying to have a conversation. But one quick story, I told this the other day, but I'll make it quick. I met Gray Albright, who is one of the owners of Razzball. Now, like the March Madness tournament, all right, I think of us as kind of like the 11 seed, in the tournament, or 12 seed or whatever it is. Like, we're not beating Duke, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we do our thing, and people like it, but people enjoy it. But I don't know how many people have heard of the Pallazzo podcast, but everybody was super cool and super nice, and I talked to a lot of people. But Gray Albright of Razzball, so we talked for a minute, and I told him I loved this podcast, and he goes, "Okay, so who are you with again?" And I go, "Well, I'm with a podcast called Pallazzo." And the look on his face was, what the fuck is that? But to his credit, it just lasted a second. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. That's awesome, man. Awesome." And because he didn't want to embarrass me, because there's a group of people around us, So he was trying to, be nice. And I thought that was funny, because the look on his face was 100% like, I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, but he was really cool, really nice. But it's just a bunch of great people. I know you got there like a couple days early, weren't you? Hanging out for in New York for a few days?
Yeah, I flew in. I took a red eye Wednesday night, got in Thursday morning, went to Brooklyn, and then I went to Times Square. The things that I take out of that trip to New York, outside of the actual draft room, was all the different things that we got to do. There was a night that we went to a bar called Crompton's. Ooh. And there were probably like 15 of us sitting around a table. It was a loud bar. It was kind of hard to talk, but it was nice enough. Well, all of a sudden, Ian Kahn is like, "We're going to go walk for pizza." And like 8 of us went and followed him from Times Square on ground all the way down to the Village. And I know that there are people here, like, I'm a West Coast kid. I'd never been to New York before. Apologies for being so ignorant, but I had coal-fired pizza for the first time, which blew my mind. Like, I thought New York pizza was already pretty good, but now I'm sold. That's my favorite thing. That night we got to go karaokeing, and I got to go karaokeing with the CBS kids, Frank and Chris. And we also had Eric Halterman and a guy named Steve Cozzolini that was with us. If you have never seen Chris Towers or Frank Stanfill karaoke at a bar, you are missing out. Both of them. And had I not been there, I wouldn't have believed it. They brought the whole bar. Everybody in the bar was singing along with them, just going nuts. It was a great night. The next night was the night that we did the Saturday night thing where we were up at they had the top floor of that bar just for us for Tout. And I probably talked for 4 hours that night with just different people. It was just a fluid conversation that as soon as you were done talking to somebody else was in front of you to talk. And I can't thank the people that run Tout Wars behind the scenes enough. It was a really well-run function. It was really well-run event for all the different things that happened. That Saturday morning, I got to actually live stream with Justin Mason. I got to live stream the first draft of the day. And that was just, for me, that was me living my best life. Like, you want me to sit in front of a microphone and talk about players and people drafting? Like, okay, I'll do that forever, man. That's the best time. So I'm just, it's on my calendar for next year. I can't imagine not being a part of this as long as I'm healthy enough to participate. I'm ready for it,
Yeah, it was great. And as you said, shout out to the people that run Tout Wars. Jeff Erickson, Todd Zola, Jason Collette ran our live stream at our head-to-head. And I know I'm forgetting other people because they're like 7 or 8 people.
Justin Mason,
he's on the board.
It's just a really good, sharp group of dudes that are hanging out doing that. Or I should say people, because I'm sure that there were some women that got to draft with us. Lauren was in our room. Yeah, Uncle Ted, it was a nerd fest, but it was nerd fest in all the best ways. Like,
truth.
It's like when Britton said that Gray Albright didn't want to hurt his feelings. Like, you can't hurt my feelings. I'm in the middle of living my best life, and if you don't know who I am, if you think I'm a nerd, like, fuck off. I am so happy right now.
It was a definite nerd fest, but up with the nerds. The nerds are my people. I look at box scores for fun. Like literally for fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And this is, I know we're not talking about November, but I got to get my 15-second pitch in. If you love fantasy baseball, all of this started for Britton and I 4 years ago when we met at a bar at First Pitch, Arizona, and just started talking about baseball. If you love fantasy baseball, go to Arizona in November, register for First Pitch Arizona. Baseball HQ runs that. They do a great flipping job with it. It is a good time. I think you know somebody that works for Baseball HQ.
My wife, my beautiful wife, Sarah, is an editor for Baseball HQ. She's doing it. She's done it for like the past 3-4 years. She's doing it again this year. Brent Hershey, shout out. And oh my God, I'm blanking. Ray
There
Murphy.
you go.
Yeah, Brent Hershey and Ray Murphy. They run Baseball HQ and also First Pitch, and they send articles to Sarah, and she edits them, and they get posted online. So check out Baseball HQ for all their content, because that's where Bubba writes and Sarah Sanchez and a bunch of people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's I'm really grateful for the community that I found in fantasy baseball. Just a great group of people, and I have no problems when they celebrate with me or make fun of me. Like,
nobody's making fun of you. You're like the most loved guy at First Pitch.
Not even close. I'm an idiot like everybody else, man. I'm just there to live my best life. And thank you. I will try to accept the compliment. But man, no.
Speaking of compliments, thank you to Deuce B8 8472. We appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you, sir.
Hey, that's why we work so hard for you guys. That's right. This is hard work. I don't know if you guys see, but like, I'm sweating, got the muscles all pumped up. Like, we got some stuff to go into. So Tout Wars was awesome, but let's talk about what people are actually here for. They want to know, what was it like in that room? What was it like drafting? What was our teams like? All that kind of good stuff. So talk to me. What was your strategy going into the room? What did you were a rook, right? Like, it was crazy. Ian Kahn, who I've been listening to for years for Under the Radar, walked up to me and said, "Hey, Rook, How you doing, Rook? Hey, you
in that actor Hollywood super smooth voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You just melt. You just look at him and you're like, oh, you're so what? No, just kidding. I don't want to fanboy.
Get a little starstruck with Ian Khan. Yeah. President Washington, right?
Fucking solid dude, though. Just 100%. Anyway, enough of that. What was your strategy going into the draft? Because live auction drafts are something that not everybody gets to be a part of. And then you add this thing where you're traveling thousands of miles to go against people who do their own rankings and values that are big time for what they do. So what were you doing to prepare yourself? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like these are folks that use draft software, like Ariel Cohen for Beat the Shift, and I think he writes for Fangraphs too. Like he literally had 3 monitors set up. Like remember that? Like we're in DEFCON 5 and War Games or something. Like is Joshua running this show? Like I didn't. It was wild. And then there's me and with my little computer, you know, going like, I kind of like Drake Baldwin, but yeah. So it's a 2-catcher league. It's a points league, and so there's a little bit of nuance to it, meaning like it's CBS rules, points rules, in Fantrax. So we're using the CBS, rules for, points for walks, points for hits, obviously, and all obviously every point league is different essentially. But in this particular league, it's pretty standard. You're a pretty standard points league, and it's head to head, meaning it's not year-long roto. Obviously, it's the total opposite of that. So you just got to win your week, however you see fit to do it. You have to start 9 pitchers. 2 of them have to be relief eligible, but or you can start 9 relievers if you want. But starting pitchers get the most points because they get wins, quality starts, strikeout, blah blah, all that stuff. So y'all know how points leagues work. I don't need to explain it or anything. But so it's a head-to-head points league with a different set of rules. So I'm not that familiar with points leagues. I prefer 5x5 old school crybaby roto, year long, but I have played head-to-head points league, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's like fantasy football. It's as close as you can get to fantasy football. You play 1 week at a time, and when that week's over, you move on. Stats don't carry over. So my goal was this is a 2-catcher league, so 12 teams have to start 2 catchers. So I didn't want to make like a rule like I have to follow this blueprint, but the one rule I did have is like I'm getting 2 good catchers. I'm paying up for them. I don't care what it costs. I'm getting 2 good catchers because the other team that starts, Kyle Teal and Gabriel Moreno, they're not going to win those weeks as far as catchers go against the catchers I wanted. So I wanted that edge. That was really the only rule I wanted, other than I had a list of pitchers that I wanted. And then I didn't want to pay up for Aaron Judge, or not that there's anything wrong with that, but because I know you did, and I want you to talk about that in 1 second. But I'll just finish up. I didn't want to do stars and scrubs. I didn't have a player over 30, and I didn't have a player under 5. So I'm in the middle. But you drafted, but you paid up for Judge, right?
Yeah. So in the Saturday drafts, Aaron Judge in the auctions, Aaron Judge went for $62 in the first draft, and then $63 in the AL only draft, and it was crazy. I got Aaron Judge for $52, and I'm not normally an Aaron Judge guy. Like I have a ton of respect for him, and I even as a Seattle fan, like in all the debates that I've gotten between last year's Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge MVP things, like I give Aaron Judge was also deserving of the MVP. He's a generational talent that had a generational season. Like I'm not here to hate on him, but I really I didn't expect to go for him. I didn't expect him to be somebody that I would have bid on, because for being my first year, I try to view this as like whitewater rafting. Every time you go down a river whitewater rafting, the river's always a little different. It's never the same. There are features, there are things that are going to be similar, but each time down the river is different. And I view each auction room the same way, that each auction room, we all have relatively similar values, and we're all pulling from the same pool, and we're all operating under the same rules, but every room is individual to itself. You have to be aware of tempo and what's hot and what's not and all these other things. So I tried to get my head as blank as possible, which amazingly is harder than it looks because there's lots of dumb things that I can't get out of my head. So my whole thing was I knew that I was going to have some dollar players here and there. I was hopeful to stick to a budget, and I did not spend as much on pitching as I would have liked at the end of it. I think I was under 30% on pitching. So I was really hitting heavy. I took Aaron Judge, I took Cal Raleigh, I took Randy Arozarena. I wanted to bring those three players back karmically in baseball. So
yes,
and we've seen, hey, Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh in the last couple of days have both issued several press releases that to us, mi hermano, like they are simpatico. Like I love that. So I just wanted to take what came to me. And so when I started bidding on Judge, it was like, there was part of me that was like, are you being moved by the Holy Spirit? Like, what the hell is going on here? 52.
Man, you got it to what, $12 cheaper than the other league? I mean, that's really good. That's awesome.
Ariel, and I'll talk about it later. Ariel says that Aaron Judge is a $38 player. So I lost $14 of value there. I understand that. And like I said, we'll talk about the strategy that he and I have chatted about on the phone since the draft that has been tripping in my head, because auction drafts are very different than snake drafts. It's just, I mean, and I know that sounds dumb to say out loud, like no shit, Sam, they are different, but I'm starting to believe that in auction drafts, it's not about getting your guys that you would target in a snake draft. It's about maximizing value. And there's a real balance there, because you do have guys that you want to get. You do have players that you are inclined on and you think are going to break out, or you think are going to have the highest floors available. But watching Ariel put together his team was real interesting, because he also had no $1 players. And really, I don't think he bid on, he had one bid for Shohei Ohtani, who went for 41. Shohei in this league was separated. You get Shohei the hitter and Shohei the pitcher. The hitter went for $41, which compared to Judge is probably a huge bargain. Getting for $11 cheaper than Judge, I thought was pretty interesting. But Ariel Cohen doesn't have a player on his team, I think more than $20 or so. So it's this real just tight packed thing of high value players on a roster.
Yeah, and shout out to him too, because he's the reigning champion. Like, he won last year. He won the whole thing last year, and I think a couple years before that. So he knows what he's doing, and it was funny. Like, he was the first one there. I got there early because I'm terrified of being late for anything. I have like anxiety if I'm even remotely close to being late. Plus from where my hotel was to where the draft was. It was only my second time in New York. I wasn't all that familiar with it. So I was just kind of cruising. But anyway, I got there like an hour early, and there's Ariel already set up, like not unpacking, up and running, like up and going. So yeah, man, he's about as serious as it gets. But hey, he's successful at it.
Yeah, my favorite was I walked into the room and you were on the end. You were 2 seats away from him, and he had his whole thing set up. And I walked up to him and I'm like, Ariel, you need to make room for us. And he's like, I already had him bring another table for you. That's your table. I'm set up right here.
He did.
He did. He was, and it may sound like you and I are teasing Ariel Cohen. Again, nothing but respect for him. That guy is dialed in. He is a sharp player, and he's a personality. He brings some fun and love into that room. I called him the Johnny Cueto of auctioning. Johnny Cueto on the mound was always looking for different arm angles, different places to stand on the rubber, different tempo. Like, he was always just trying to mess with the hitter. And Ariel would, like, sometimes he'd be like 13, 15, 17. Like, he'd have
like Tourette's. Yeah. And just start yelling.
Yeah.
You're like,
The first time he was like 20. And I just jumped and was like, but it was so much fun to be in that room and to experience it. I'm not a big Hamilton fan. My family loves the musical Hamilton, but Hamilton has that whole song, "Were You in the Room When It Happened?" And there's a little bit of truth to that if you're not in that room when it happens, you really don't know what that's like. Like, we're going to do our best to describe what it was like, but just again, such a fun room. So we were in a horseshoe setup so that we could all kind of see each other, and it was you got to help me remember who was in there and what order. Let's see if we can bring up the board.
I saw you doing the screen share.
There we are. We're both there. So when
you may want to press control, go back to the screen, press control plus, and maybe that may bring it up a little bit if you want to.
Control plus. I'm on a Mac. That's not happening for me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Command plus. How's that? Does that look better?
Maybe you can't. Maybe it's an Excel sheet, so maybe that's not how it works. But no, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, hopefully I didn't mess with everybody's ability to see things. Here I am, the old man messing with technology.
I know my eyes are terrible. I've had to wear glasses since I was in middle school, and I have to lean into the computer.
So in our room, it started off with Britton. If you're going clockwise from the bottom right corner of the horseshoe, basically, or the upper right part of the U, it was Britton Allan, and then me, and then there was Ariel Cohen. We had Clay Link that was next to him, and then we had Frank Amoranti, and then we had Michael Govier. He had what was Andrew? What was the guy who drafted
Anthony? Shout out Anthony. He's a friend of the show. Anthony, Michael Govier had some issues with the travel situation. Obviously, we've all seen the things. It's the airports, all cutbacks. We're not going to get into it, but Govier's travel plans went to the wayside. But Anthony is from New York, and he did the draft for Govier. It was really nice of him. Anthony's a great guy.
Yeah, there was Anthony, and then it was Chris Towers, and then it was Ryan Hallam, and then Sky Dombrowski, Joe Galena, Lauren Auerbach, and Nick Pollock. So the room was just really, really, it was chalk. Everybody that was in that room really was fun to draft with. It was literally one of the best times that I've ever had.
Auctions are fun, but it's funny too because they move so quick, right? Was that your experience too? Like, I mean, it's just one going once, going twice, done. And then you go if you look at your phone. Like I drank so much coffee, Sam, I had to go to the bathroom once, and I waited until it was a player I didn't want. So I got up, I ran to the bathroom. And I could hear, and then the player went way too quick. And then I heard somebody say, "All right, I nominate Brent Rooker." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm going to miss out on Brent Rooker because I drank 10 cups of coffee." So from the bathroom, I go, $20. But of course, thank God no one heard me because yelling bids while you're literally going to the bathroom probably frowned on. That's a really good way not to get asked back. So luckily no one heard it. But yeah, that was one player I missed out on, and I love Brent Rooker this year for the A's hitting in that AAA ballpark. But yeah, that's hey, look, you miss it, you miss it. So that's how auctions go.
So let's talk about your team real quick. Let's go through the players that you drafted. You said that you had going into it, you wanted to have two really strong catchers, and you ended up with Shea Langoliers, who's probably the number 2 catcher in fantasy baseball this year, headed into the season, and Drake Baldwin, someone who's got a ton of helium coming into that. Do you feel like you succeeded on drafting the catchers that you wanted?
Yeah, I'm big on both those guys. Obviously, Shea Langoliers, he's killing it this spring. He killed it last year. I think he leveled up. He's going to bat first, second, or third. I guess Nick Kurtz would be first, but he's going to bat second or third for the A's. And last year we talked about that ballpark, Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, California. It's 315 down the right field line, folks. I mean, if you're a lefty power bat, you just can't go wrong in that ballpark. And so I love it. I love all the A's pretty much. I try to get a share as much as I can. Drake Baldwin's been killing it too. He's awesome. He won Rookie of the Year last year. He's a catcher, and he's going to bat second for the Braves. That's one thing I tried to do is, plate appearances in a points league are so valuable. I mean, they're valuable in Rota. They're valuable of everything, but the more plate appearances you have, it literally directly correlates to more fantasy points, especially in points. So unless you're just a strikeout king, like Jake Berger or something like that, but more plate appearances, more points. So I want players that hit at the top of the order. That's why I went a little overboard on like Jacob Marcy, because I think he's going to bat leadoff every single day and just rack up plate appearances. And anything else that comes along with that, I'm down with that. But sorry, I was kind of ranting there for a second. Yeah, I really want two good catchers, so that's why. And Drake Baldwin, like I had him at $16, and he went for 10. So that's $6 that if I were a really skilled auction player, I could have moved that $6 over to one of my other guys that I won, which was Kyle Schwarber, who I didn't get, who I should have gotten and bid him up, but I didn't because he went over my price. But that's just one of those things that I learned in an auction that I need to adjust hopefully in the future.
Now, tell me a little bit about your corner infielders. You got Michael Busch at first, Max Muncy at third, and Jonathan Aranda at your corner infield. And I don't know if it's just my personal biases or the things that I was not paying attention to last year. But other than Max Muncy, who put on glasses and started hitting again like he was 29, I'm kind of out on all of them. Those are players that were easier for me to walk away from. Give me 10 seconds on each of those players about why you were excited to get them.
Yeah, I'm big on Michael Busch.
That's right.
Busch Light, baby. In 1996 in Knoxville, Tennessee, you could get a 12-pack of Busch Light for $5. So maybe I'm a little biased on Busch Light. But yeah, Michael Busch has gotten better every single year. He's going to bat leadoff for the Cubs. They're not going to sit him against lefties, if you believe what you read in the beat guys. Batting leadoff for the Cubs, he hit over 30 home runs last year. So I'm a big fan of Michael Busch. I think he's just getting better and better, and he's going to bat leadoff for the Cubs. Love that. That's that plate appearance thing that we were talking about. Max Muncy is another player I'm high on because third base sucks, and for whatever reason, I just waited on third base. And he just re-upped his contract. He's going to bat for the Dodgers. He got the Ricky Vaughn glasses. So, and maybe he doesn't play every day. I get it. That was probably not my shining moment right there for third base. And then let's see, what was the other one we were? Oh, Jonathan Aranda. Yeah, he's just a great hitter. He's going to hit singles. You get points for triples, doubles, all that. He's just a great hitter. So he's going to bat at the top of the lineup too, probably second for the Tampa Bay Rays. And he just sprays balls. Wait a minute, phrasing. He's just a great hitter. So he's going to rack up points and plate appearances. So that's why I like Aranda. And
then going into your middle infielders, you got probably at what I consider to be a discount considering the helium that he's had this year. You have Matt McLain at second, Ezekiel Tovar at shortstop, and Brandon Lowe at middle infield. I really like Matt McLain and Brandon Lowe. I'm intrigued in Tovar. I like him, but tell me a little bit. Was Tovar just somebody that you had to pivot to, or were Tovar or Lowe actual targets for you?
I like Tovar batting leadoff. He was injured last year for the Colorado Rockies. The year before that, he hit over 20 home runs from shortstop. So you get a little power boost right there. I think Tovar is going to bat leadoff for the Rockies all year. He's healthy. He's looking good. So I like that. Maybe I'm going a little overboard with this, where you bat in the order situation. I might be, but Matt McLain, I really like. He's been the hottest hitter in spring. Matt McLain for the Reds. I love hitting in Cincinnati. And the Tito, the manager, they came out and said Matt McLain is going to bat second for this team every day. So Ellie, Friedel, and Matt McLain in there not knocking it around. I like Cincinnati. They made the playoffs last year. So Cincinnati's not a joke. So I love Matt McLain because Mike V, Mike Virginia on the other show has been on the Matt McLain bandwagon for years, which I poo-pooed on all last year. So it's ironic that now I'm, my hypocrisy knows no bounds, as they say in Tombstone. So I'm back on the McLain, but back on the bandwagon for McLain. But
Mikey V,
Mikey V.
Us. We listen to you as much as you might not think we do, man. We listen. We take it to heart. We take it to heart.
I did that. That was for Mike V and Michael Govier. So they're big Matt McLain fans. So I had to, and it's $7. I'm like, well, yeah. I had no plans whatsoever of making a big on McLain, but when I heard $6 go once, going twice, I was like, okay, why not?
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. And then let's get into your outfield and your utility real quick. Your outfield is Jacob Marcy, Jackson Merrill, Dalen Lyle, Joe Adell, Alec Burleson, Ramon Laureano. I'm a big fan of Burleson this year, especially in 5x5 because he's first base outfield eligible, and he's going to have a very clear path to playing time all year. They're not going to, unless he gets injured, he's going to be playing. I like all 6 of those names. You want to highlight maybe 2 of them? Who are the 2 players that you got in that you're just really excited about?
I think Jackson Merrill is probably the one I'm most excited about. He's batting second. Again, I know I'm beating a dead horse here for the Padres. Had a slow year last year because of injuries. He got a concussion at one point, but when he was finally healthy, now it was the end of the year, excuse me, but when he was finally healthy, he produced at an elite level. So I'm just hoping that carries over Jackson Merrill for the Padres. That's his superstar potential carries over into this year. The injuries are behind him. I think he's going to level up. And for $18, I think he was my most expensive hitter. But so yeah, I'm looking for a bounce. I'm gambling on
Shea. You spent 19 on Shea, so he was your second most expensive hitter.
Yeah, so I kind of believe in the bounce back for Jackson Merrill. And what do you think of Dalen Lyle? Like I think he's going to hit cleanup for the Washington Nationals. And they just optioned Dylan Cruz down to AAA. I'm like, so you're keeping Lyle and you're sending down your like number overall draft pick. I'm like, well, Dalen Lyle's got to be doing something right. So we'll see how that works. So I was kind of intrigued by that. That was just kind of a what the hell type situation.
I think the Nationals are doing some interesting things. I think they've been, ever since they moved Soto, they've been kind of getting that roster kind of flipped over and moving through things. I was surprised that they let Cruz go back down to the minors, that they demoted him. Didn't give him a chance to be on the team opening day, but I think you're right. I think that there are a lot of stars lining up for Dalen Lyle to get tons of at-bats and really get to show that 2025 was his stepping off place, that he is going to be. I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't want to be like Dalen Lyle, but like, yeah, Dalen Lyle, like I would have taken him had I had an opening at that point. Like I like Dalen Lyle, and I also really like Ramon Laureano. I think that he is going to have one of the highest floors of the outfield. He's going to hit for average. He's going to have pop. I mean, stolen bases don't count in this league other than for points, so you don't have to worry about that as a category. But I think Ramon Laureano is going to fill up box scores all season long for you. So
yeah, that was literally my last drafted or auction player. So I beefed up his AAV because I had some money left over from Drake Baldwin. So I kind of that's where that weird kind of outlier bid comes from. But look at my Trey Savage, man. I was like, oh no. But obviously we drafted before the news came out, before he was
jumping ahead, man. We're talking about pitchers now.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You get talk about Trey Savage. I was ready to talk about my offense, but let's go through your.
Oh yeah. No. Let's do your offense. Offense is way more entertaining. Plus, you got Aaron Judge, and I love your price on Cal Raleigh. Like, love it. So he's the best catcher, especially in a points league, because that dude plays every single day. You know, he had the most plate appearances by any catcher in the history of Major League Baseball last year, if you include playoffs.
I mean, I might have known that since I'm his biggest fan on the planet that I know
Yes,
of.
sir.
Yeah, no, I talked about before the strategy going in to treat it like a White River rafting experience, but there were two players on my roster that I specifically targeted and wanted on my offense, and Cal Raleigh was one of them. I didn't want to go 28 was actually my limit. I wanted to be really well balanced as far as that went, because I knew that I was going to want to spend money elsewhere. So to get him at 28, I was pretty surprised. I think there might have been some feeling that I would have gone to like 50. So I think people just walked away from him in the draft room. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I felt pretty good with Cal Raleigh at 28. And then I let catchers just go, and I ended up with Bo Naylor at $3. I think he's going to play a lot for Cleveland, and I think having Cal Raleigh as my first catcher, I'm not as worried about having two amazing catchers. Like, I really like both of your catchers far better than Bo Naylor, and Shea Langoliers and Cal Raleigh are, I believe the 1 and 2 catchers going into the year for fantasy. So I don't know if I have a huge advantage at catcher or a slight disadvantage at catcher compared to some other teams. But I would have preferred, like, there was Francisco Alvarez, who I'm a big fan of this year, Agustin Ramirez, who I really like, Samuel Basayo, who I really like, Sal Perez went for 15. I'm a big fan of the Kansas City Royals this year. I think they're going to do things, and I think Sal Perez is going to have one of his last really big seasons this year. I think he's going to do things, especially with Jensen coming in and spelling him behind the plate. So
what did Jensen go for? I vaguely remember like a bidding war going on. Carter Jensen. Do you happen to see that somewhere?
Carter Jensen, I think went for 19.
Wow.
Yeah, he was high, like
backup catcher, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, same price as Shea Langoliers, so that was a lot of money spent on that one. But I like my catching, all things being equal. I really like my corner infielders. I got Josh Naylor, I got Michael Garcia, and I got Brett Beatty. Michael Garcia was my other player that I
love that.
And
love that. That's such a great pick. I love Michael Garcia. That's such a great pick.
Been on him for 3-4 years. I've rostered him in Dynasty since 23, 22. So I'm real excited for what he's going to do. They moved the fences in. There's some buzz. I really, he had a great WBC. So, his head and his heart are full with confidence. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think Brett Beatty could be a sneaky 30 home run hitter this year.
Yeah, he's got the pedigree.
Whether or not him or, he's playing for the Mets. Anything can happen, not to dog on the Mets. But anything can happen there. My middle infielders, second base, I got Otto Lopez, and shortstop, I got Mookie Betts. And then for middle infielder, I got Jorge Polanco. I'd probably swap Jorge Polanco and Otto Lopez, if I were to rank second base higher than middle infielder. That's how it ended up going in the bidding. I've been targeting in 5x5 drafts. I've been targeting Polanco and Gleyber Torres at the end of drafts all year long. I've been punting second base. And so I'm excited to get Polanco there. Oddly, I have a lot of Mets. I didn't realize how many Mets I had on my roster until we started looking at this today. I did not mean to draft that many New York Mets, but evidently go Metropolitans. And I think that Mookie Betts at $18 for shortstop. I think that was it was $1 less than Zach Neto. It was $13 less than Ellie De La Cruz. It was $22 less than Bobby Witt. It was $11 less than Gunnar Henderson. Like, I feel pretty good about Mookie Betts. I think that Mookie's going to have a bounce back season. He had that terrible illness at the beginning of last year that really hampered his 2025 season. I know he's old. I know that he's not, prime Mookie Betts anymore, but I have a feeling that with all of that talent in that lineup, he is just going to accumulate at bats. He's going to accumulate points, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome value. I love Mookie Betts, always have. From beautiful Hendersonville, Tennessee, just north of Nashville, Mookie Betts. Shout out, Mookie.
God's country out in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to my outfield, and it's hard to not like your outfield when the first person in your outfield is Aaron Judge. So
All rise.
yeah, I'm totally going to be on Arson Judge this year, all year watching him. I'm actually March 31st, I get to go to the Mariners-Yankees game, and it's going to be awkward because while I'm booing the Yankees, I'm going to be like, okay, Aaron, you could go 3 for 3, not score any runs, but have like 3 doubles and 2 walks. Like just get me points that way. You don't have to affect the scoreboard in reality. Just be productive at the plate for me.
Yeah, you just got to make an exception in that situation. That's all there is to it. You just got to say, hey, look, I love the Mariners, but today is Aaron Judge Day.
I don't think that's ever going to happen for me. We'll see. I'm trying to get rid of being such a homer during the season, but holy shirt balls, man. I love watching the Mariners beat up on the Yankees. It doesn't happen often. Shout out 95. So Aaron Judge, and then I got Ian Happ and Randy Arozarena. I like Happ a little bit more than Arozarena in this format because of the strikeouts. Randy is going to definitely chase some pitches this year, so I'm really hoping that we get a 25 season from him. Lots of accumulated stats and RBIs and runs that drive up those point totals, and maybe he can walk a little bit more than he did last year. But I'm excited about those. And then I got Adolis Garcia and Kerry Carpenter. And I think Adolis moving out of what has become the second best pitching park in baseball in Texas. I think him moving from there to a hitter-friendly Philly park and a very hitter-friendly Phillies lineup. I think Adolis is going to have a pretty good season. Again, he might strike out a little bit more than I like. And then Kerry Carpenter, he is going to get a ton of at-bats against right-handers. And if I'm able to find another outfielder that I really like, I can see being able to play with him or the other outfielder for these week-long things. Can we change hitters on Friday still, or is that?
Yeah, that's been a rule change that Todd Zola was talking about. So yes, I believe that in the last year they couldn't, but this year it's been changed.
Yeah, and then I ended up with utility at Mark Vientos, and that I'm kind of mad on that. It was. I think he's going to play, but I'm not as excited about that. Do you have any feelings about Vientos? Is there anything that you have?
I drafted a lot of Mark Vientos. He had such a great rookie year. I had a tough sophomore slump year, but I was buying in. But this spring training has been horrid. Not. There's not like a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm afraid, but I could be wrong. But I mean, he's literally had like 1 hit in 25 at bats or something. I don't know what's going on with Vientos, but I'm rooting for him. But because man, he came out with what a 20 plus home run season. So hopefully it's just one of those spring training things, Like I remember. Do you remember Michael Franco? I remember.
Yes.
Do you remember that guy? Yeah, I think he was a Twin and a Philly, and there was one spring training where he hit he led the league in like 25 home runs, and then had a terrible regular season, like awful. So this stuff he just may not matter. I don't know, but the talent's there for Mark Vientos.
Yeah, no, I totally remember him, and he was one of my favorite 4A players. He just couldn't quite get over the hump when he was in the majors. So yeah, I think Mark Vientos probably will end up being somebody that if things don't work out at the beginning of the season, he'll be one of my drops, one of my fab players that I get rid of. So
that's a great point. This is a fab league, so you're not married. We're dating.
That's right.
No. If you pay, $50, you are married at that point. Like barring injury, that player is going to play. But yeah, on a anything less than like $5, yeah, you're just, hey, you chew with your mouth, you chew your food with your mouth open. I'm not texting you again. That situation.
That's right. Now you were excited to talk about your pitching, and I'm ready to talk about your pitching because other than Trey Savage, you have a pretty interesting lineup. And talk to me. Let's talk about who you have.
Yeah, so my first ever, I guess, draft win, or the best bid was Jacob deGrom. who, like you said, pitches for the Rangers and was probably, other than Seattle, one of the best places to pitch. He had a good season last season. It was $19, so I don't think it was an overpay for Jacob deGrom. I'm hoping, we're just like with most pitchers, Sammy. You just kind of you just hold your fingers crossed, say, "Come on, Jacob deGrom, one more season." So I got him, and let's see, Cole Reagans. That's another one. Just the talent's there. Is he going to be? Is he going to be okay? I don't know. I don't know anything. You just kind of grit your teeth and go with the talent. So I got Cole Reagans. I think he's the most I paid for, 20. And then Trey Savage. What do you do? I didn't know. I knew he was being slowly ramped up, but I'm a big Trey Savage fan, so he will go into the bench, obviously, for a couple weeks or a month. Emmett Sheehan, big fan. Let's see. Who else? Oh, Dylan Cease, man. Let's talk about Dylan Cease here for a second. He's the only pitcher, not Skubal, not Skeens, that has had 500 or 200 strikeouts every season for the past 5 seasons. There's only one, and it's Dylan Cease. He's a strikeout machine. He plays for Toronto, which has got a much better defense than he's used to, with Varsho catching all kinds of crazy shit in the outfield. Andres Jimenez is a great infielder anyway. So, and if you look at Dylan Cease's schedule, the Toronto Blue Jays schedule, I really like it. It's real soft. It's the first series is the Rockies in Toronto. I love that. And then they play like the Twins, the Angels, the White Sox. And I know later down the line they'll play the Yankees and Red Sox. I get all that, but there's a bunch of series in the beginning of the season where he's going to have a real soft landing. So I really like Dylan Cease, especially at that price for innings and Ks. Like we said, it's a points league. ERA doesn't matter. So in WHIP and all that kind of stuff. But let's see. I wanted Cam Schlittler. I did not get him. Pitcher list got him. Nick Lodolo. Are you a Nick Lodolo fan?
Yes, as a pitcher and a skill set, I love Nick Lodolo. Pitching for Cincinnati, who has a hard time keeping their pitchers healthy and is in a bandbox. I'm not as excited, but I do like Nick Lodolo. I think that I like your pitching. I like your pitching staff. I think that
thank you.
Dylan Cease in a points league is just, you have all these questions in a 5x5 about, is he going to tank your ratios? You're literally just accumulating points. And if he goes on a bad streak, you can put another pitcher in there. But when he's on, and he's usually on for a month or two, like you're going to get a steady production of points because he is going to strike out batters. He is going to pitch innings. And so let's go Dylan Cease for you. I think that's great. And I like Emmett Sheehan. He has continued to gain a little bit of velocity and some helium as we've come through. It looks like he's going to be pitching for the Dodgers this year. Are they doing a 6-man rotation? Is he going to be part of a 5-man rotation? We don't know necessarily, but I like his skill set, and I think that he has one of the better chances to stay healthy all year for the Dodgers.
Yeah, a lot of people like Emmett Sheehan, and so I think I just kind of bandwagon that one. One of my closers is Devin Williams. That was just price enforcing, and I got caught. I was bidding Ariel Cohen up on Devin Williams, the closer for the Mets, and then so not that I have anything against Devin Williams, but he had a terrible season last year for the Yankees. But we'll see how he does. But yeah, that was just straight. I didn't want Ariel to get a bargain on him.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, and then you got my favorite dark horse closer in drafts this year, and that's Brian Abreu, who looks like he is going to start the season as the full-time closer for Houston. He strikes out almost everybody that he faces. I've had him in a couple Solds leagues the last couple years. Like he just produces value, and so I was a little bummed out. I missed out on him. That you went to $10.
Yeah, I think that's an overpay, but I did it. And it's funny, the teams with the most money left, it was between me and this other gentleman. I want to say, was it Ryan or maybe Clay Link? I can't remember, but yeah, he and I were just going back and forth, and I was like, man, because all the other closers were gone at that point. So yeah, so that's I just had to keep going on Brian Abreu.
Yeah, no, I'm all in on that pick. I think he's going to be pretty solid for you. So I didn't spend enough money on my pitching. So as we go over this, please ignore the Roki Sasaki draft pick or the auction bid. I got Chris Sale for $20. I got Yuri Perez for 18.
Love it.
Sonny Gray for 10, which I'm actually really I like him for $10. I think he's got that same feel of Dylan Cease, maybe not the high end strikeouts, but he's just got that high floor. I think he's going to pitch all season.
Rack up wins for the Red Sox. Yeah, Sonny Gray. Shout out Vandy boy.
That's right. Go Vanderbilt. Commodores.
Go Doors.
That's right. I actually, Vanderbilt wanted me to go there for engineering 30 years ago when I was in high school. They were like, hey, you should come check out Tennessee. And I'm like, that is so far away from Washington. There is no flipping way. But I considered it. Vanderbilt was, I like them. So I got Roki Sasaki. Dave Roberts said he's going to start. He's probably going to end up on my bench.
$2. So, what'd you get him? I mean, that's a great lotto ticket because he's been up and down a little bit, but he showed some stuff last year and it was in relief. But I mean, that's a thing that can literally pay off big time.
Yeah, no, I like my next 2 lottery tickets, and that's Garrett Cole for the Yankees and Noah Cameron for the Kansas City Royals. I think that Garrett Cole is doing way better than I would have imagined. The velocity is there. The feel for the pitches looks like they're there. Like Garrett Cole could be sneaky this year. So for a $3 Garrett Cole, can you imagine 2 years ago getting Garrett Cole for $3? If I get 2024, 2023 Garrett Cole for $3, like
he's looking good. Yeah, he's progressing. And plus I don't think we mentioned, but it's unlimited IL in this league, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right about that?
Unlimited IL, there's trades. Like it's really an interesting format for it.
Yeah, so there you go, baby. You just put Garrett Cole, and when he gets activated a month, you have an ace for $3.
That's right. And I ended my starters with Chris Bubich. Bubich.
Love the boobs, Ruby boobies.
As my oldest, we went to a Kansas City game a couple of years ago. Chris was starting, and they were like, "What's his name?" And I'm like, "Chris Bubich," and they're like, his name is literally Boo Bitch.
Yes.
What does he have? Why don't people like him? And I was just like, you got to stop talking, kid. Like, and the closers that I bet on were Ryan Helsley and Griffin Jacks. And in a traditional 5x5, Griffin Jacks, Tampa Bay relievers in general, I'm a little bit hesitant on, but in this where it's just accumulating stats.
Yep.
I'm excited for both Helsley and Griffin Jacks. So I wish that I had spent more money on my pitching, but I'm happy with where I ended up with that. I thought that was pretty good.
I mean, that Garrett Cole, if Roki hits and Garrett Cole hits, and you've already got Yuri Perez, who I think is a sneaky. I'll have to check my DraftKings account and see what his odds for winning Cy Young. But Yuri Perez has got the stuff to win the Cy Young.
Yes, he does.
Will he be healthy? But that's true for every pitcher, literally every pitcher.
Well,
you just never know. Every pitcher can get hurt.
Yeah, no, everybody talks about injury risk, and there are some pitchers that are far more injury prone than others, but literally everybody is an injury risk. Like you have to take risk somehow. You want to manage that risk, but
that's a great point.
So now we're going to go over our benches. So once you fill out your 23 players, you have 6 players that you get to do. We did a round robin or a snake draft. I was the last pick. You were the second to the last pick. So coming through the draft here, let me see if I can recap. The first pick was Merrill Kelly in the reserves. Jacob Wilson didn't get bid on. Jared Jones, Andrew Vaughn, Corbin Burns snuck through, Shane Bieber, Jordan Lawler, Xander Bogaerts, Braxton Ashcraft, Ivan Herrera, who I'm really excited about. Your first pick was Ryan Weathers. Talk about that for just 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've always had a affection, is a crush maybe on Ryan Weathers. He's a starting pitcher for the Yankees. He's in the rotation. He's got strikeout stuff. So I would always like to get a piece of the Yankees, like a Dodgers pitcher, Yankees pitcher. So Ryan Weathers for the Yankees. I took a shot right there for him.
I like that. I was up next on the wheel, and I took Colt Keith and Shane Smith of the White Sox. I'm a big fan of Colt Keith. I think he's going to get regular at bats this year. He's going to have double position eligibility. I think I can do him at second, third, corner, and middle. And so there's tons of flexibility there, and I really like that pick.
And he's 2 first names, always successful, always.
That's right. That's right. Cool Keith, Colt Keith, whatever you want to call him. And then I took Shane Smith. I think he's just got a pretty interesting floor pitching for Chicago. He's not probably going to get a lot of wins, but I think he's going to accumulate a lot of innings. And going back to what you were talking about, plate appearances, batting at the top of a lineup, points leagues are all about accumulating stats on a certain level. You want elite players, right? Like I love that Aaron Judge is going to be accumulating stats for me, but players like Colt Keith, if he gets 550 at bats this season, that's a value, I think, to get him in the reserves. And then coming back around, you are still on that catcher tip. He's I don't know, did he qualify as catcher, or does he need to qualify as catcher this year? But you took Moises Ballesteros. I love that pick.
Oh, thank you. I am the president, CEO of the Moises Ballesteros fan club. I saw him in the Arizona Fall League, and I'll never forget sitting next to Sarah Sanchez. She's like, "This is the guy," and I was like,
she's the president of that.
You're right. That's a great point. I'm more like the secretary. She's the president.
Shout out Sarah Sanchez. It's one of the smartest.
Shout out Sarah. Yeah. So I looked at like Moises Ballesteros, catcher for the Chicago Cubs. Like you look at his minor league record, all he does is hit. He's been
hit them bombs.
He's going to hit the singles. He's going to hit the doubles. He's going to hit the triples. He's just a great hitter. It's just like a playing time thing with him because they are carrying 3 catchers because he's just not good at framing or catching. But he's Kyle Schwarber. He's the next Kyle Schwarber for the Cubs. That's what I'm hoping for. He's just going to DH and hit and be a lefty bat every single day. That's what I hope.
So then after you, it was Isaac Paredes, Grant Holmes, Luis Garcia, Marcelo Zuna, Grayson Rodriguez, who I am out on. Not to stop I have no faith in Grayson Rodriguez, and if he does something great this season, like I don't root against him as a person, but going from Baltimore to LA is terrible. They really, I'm so curious about what their real plan is. So I'm out on Grayson. Do you have any feelings about Grayson Rodriguez before I continue?
Always hurt. Yeah. So that's unfortunate because he was a 5-pitch mix plus guy, but he's just always hurt. So yeah, pass.
After him was Zach Eflin, Parker Messick, who I'm interested in. I thought he was an interesting pickup. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Reed Detmers. Ariel was at that wheel, and he picked up Colton Cowser and Brandon Pfaadt, 2 solid players. Coming back, McAble got picked up. I wish that I had thought about him instead of Smith, to be perfectly honest. Jacob Lopez, Lars Nootbaar, Justin Steele, Chase DeLauder, Chad Patrick, Reynaldo Lopez, Peyton Toll, Andrew Painter, and then you picked Tyler O'Neill. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this weird feeling that Tyler O'Neill is going to have a 30 bomb season. He had a terrible season last year. He signed that big contract with the Baltimore Orioles. I think he's going to play every day because they paid him. They're paying him to, and I just have a weird feeling that he's going to hit home runs this year in Baltimore and have a bounce back. That's that is just a straight up, close your eyes, just throw a dart, and hopefully that guy will hit 30 home runs. That's all that was.
Tyler O'Neill is the poster child for I showed up to spring training in the best shape of my life. That dude is just built like a brick shithouse.
And he's having a good spring training for whatever that's worth. So he was such a disappointment last year. He's got to do better, I think.
Yep. I had my wheel, and I took Josh Smith for the Rangers and Bryce Miller for Seattle. Josh Smith, I think he's got first, third, and shortstop eligibility. Again, another multi-positional, plays corner, plays middle. I can plug and play him in a number of different places. So I'm excited for him. I think he's got a pathway to regular at bats all season. And then because of the IL, I picked up Bryce Miller. There's some real questions to how effective he's going to be this season. I'm hopeful. I think the Mariners have a good front office. I think they've got a good staff for getting people healthy. And so I'm expecting big things from Bryce Miller in the second half of the season. I think he will be pitching for the Mariners, meaningful innings. So I'm excited about those two picks. Coming back through, you took Chase Medroith. Talk about him for just a second. He's had some buzz this offseason.
Yeah, he's a player that came over with the Crochet trade to the Chicago White Sox. I think he's going to bat leadoff every day. And this, again, I guess I'm just totally buying in on this plate appearance thing. But he was basically like an insurance. If Tovar gets injured again, or if he sucks, then Chase Medroith can provide plate appearances. He can hit. His minor league track record is really good. He's always been a solid hitter, not a home run guy, but he'll steal bags. So just one of those, if he bats first for the White Sox, who are going to be better this year, then I just took a shot on him.
That's right. And then going down the list, it was Owen Cassie, who's gotten some buzz. Josh,
I wish I'd gotten him. What do you think about Cassie, Sam?
He's one of the few Marlins that I'm really excited about, and especially given all the problems that they've been having with their outfield that we talked about earlier. I think he is going to play all season. I think he's going to have 500 to 600 at bats. He gets any kind of confidence, he develops any kind of rhythm, and he could be a huge steal for Chris Towers there. I like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to burp. Didn't want to do that. All you guys. Then Josh Young, Casey Mize, Grant Taylor, Braxton Garrett, Michael Waka, Cedric Mullins, the entertainer.
Yes.
And Sproat, Luis and Hel Acuna. We had Ariel Cohen at his wheel, take Chris Bassett and Quinn Priester. Another set of pitchers. He ended up taking 5 pitchers in the reserve. So I want to talk to him later. Just ask him, was that a thing that you just accumulate pitching in the reserve rounds? Is that what you're focused in on, or did you feel like you needed pitching? But I was interested that for him as the defending champion, 5 of his 6 players that he took in the reserves were pitching.
I like that strategy.
Yeah, coming back, Rhett Lauder, Johan Oviedo, Brooks Lee, Jacob Latz, Max Meyer, who I'm excited about this year for Miami, Robbie Snelling, Kyle Harrison on Govier's team, who I'm also excited to see what he's able to do, Justin Crawford, Jamison Tyone, and now we're down to our last 2 picks in the reserve rounds. And with the 5th pick in the reserve round, you took Giancarlo Stanton. I love that dart throw at the end of a draft. What is the percent chance that he gets 500 at bats this year? Like 10%, 50%, 75%? What do you think the chances that Giancarlo has a healthy season this year? Where do you put that number?
But 1%. I mean, I shouldn't laugh. Look, he's a great hitter. He bats for the Yankees. He can't. He says he can't open cans or potato chip bags. I'm like, well, that ain't good. But if he bats 4th or 5th for the Yankees every day, I'll give it a shot. That's what it's like the 4th pick in a reserve round. I'm just like, Well, hey, I hope he gets hot for a month and I can play him every day and he's hitting home runs with with your boy Aaron Judge.
I love that. And with unlimited IL spots, if he does go on the IL, it's just, you don't have to worry about cramping up a roster space. You can still continue to pick people up.
Yeah, great point.
My last 2 picks were Robert Garcia. I felt I needed another closer, and I think that he's going to I'll swap him with Roki Sasaki. And then I ended the draft with somebody that I've been getting everywhere. I talked about it earlier today, Cole Young. If you are in a draft and you've punted second base like I have all season, and somebody's already taken Polanco or somebody's already taken Torres, I'm all in. Like, that is my flag plant player this year is Cole Young, and I realize he's coming at the end of a draft, but I think he could easily get that 500, 600 plate appearances. I think he could run away with the position. I don't think that he's going to be platooned there. He plays good enough defense. I'm real excited about Cole Young. So I was actually really happy with my 6 reserve picks. Coming back,
I love it.
You do?
Yeah, I'm literally going through my leagues looking for Cole Young. Like, is he available?
Everybody,
you got me. I'm all bought in.
Yeah, he hit that bias confirmation, right? You totally want to avoid bias confirmation, and watching him hit that ball 478 feet,
crazy,
to go off of Logan Allan, who is an MLB pitcher, right? Like, that is the quality of pitching you will see.
Allen's Unite.
Oh man, let's fucking go. Let's just
love it. Yeah, man, this is supposed to be fun. Let's have some fun in our lives. You know?
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to win, but you want Cole Young and watch him hit long balls. Then absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, and I do want to win. I think he's going to contribute to that, but it's also going to be fun. Like, I'm all in on Cole Young. So after Cole Young, your last pick was Joey Cantillo. I like that pick. I think that he is going to be starting for the Guardians this year and doing some things. Do you have any thoughts on him?
Yeah, that's a straight up points league guy. I also love him for best ball if you play in those types of league, because look, he's going to get lit up sometimes, with its ERA, but he has knockout, drag out stuff. Like, he's probably going to give up 3 earned runs, or 4 or 5 earned runs, but he's going to strike out 10. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just a straight up points league. Another dart throw. According to Roster Resource, he's SP4 for the Guardians. So they dropped Logan Allan to the minors, and they're keeping Quintilla in the starting rotation with Parker Messick, who I think he got auctioned, because I'm pretty sure I looked for him in the reserve round and he wasn't available. But yeah. So Joey Cantillo, its strikeout rate's ridiculous. It's like Edwin Diaz strikeout rate. It's awesome. So that was just kind of a dart throw for a points league.
No, I like that. And then rounding out the rest of the last reserve round, Adrian Hauser went to Chris Towers, Ian Seymour went to Joe Galena, Mason Wynn went to Govier, Cam Smith to Frank, Logan Henderson to Sky Gombrowski. I like that pick.
Yeah.
Will Warren went to Nick Pollock. I'm real interested to see what Will Warren's season's going to be like this year. Jackson Jobe went to Ryan Hallam. Josh Bell as the last pick for Lauren Auerbach is a great first baseman to have on your bench.
Oh yeah.
Clay Link picked up Lucas Ursig that I really liked getting Robert Garcia, but I think Lucas is probably going to end up closing most of the meaningful games in Kansas City this year. So that was a great pick. And then Mr. Irrelevant was Brian Bayo for Ariel Cohen. And
Brian Bayo, shout out Govier. That's Govier's guy. One of Govier's guys.
Yeah. So it was a pretty good reserve round. And I was surprised at, there's 2 dynamics for time, right? Like, if you're hanging out with, not that you guys are all pretty girls, but if you're hanging out with a pretty girl, time seems to just fly. And in that draft room, time just flew. Like, I felt like I was only in that room for a half hour, and we were in that room for almost 3. Like, it just, so much happened in so much time, and it just feels like this how long was that? That was only a half hour, right? Like, we haven't been here for 3 hours, and
it's crazy.
The room went quickly. So as we go over the draft board, I'm curious, were there any individual players, were there any individual drafts that you were just like, wow, that guy got bid for that much? How did that happen? Do you have any of those that stick out for you?
But my main regrets, I think, is what stick out to me is that I was too timid. I was too rigid on not overpaying when I should have just, like, Kyle Schwarber is great for a points league because he walks and he hits. Batting average doesn't count. So I wish I'd bid him up, because I ended like, Roman Loreno, my last pick, like, he's not worth $12. He's worth like $4. So I should have put that money somewhere else. And James Wood was another player that I really like. that I let go for too little, and I'm just kicking myself. I mean, how much better would my roster look, Sam, if I had James Wood in the outfield as opposed to, I mean, Joe Adell's fine, but and Schwarber in my util spot, like it would be a night and day difference. But that's just a lesson that I had to learn.
Yeah, I think the thing that I was so coming into this draft, one of the things that I was trying to get over is that I've done so many 15-team 5x5 roto drafts this offseason that the player pool is a little bit more condensed. So you really want to focus in on high-end players. You really want to make sure you're aware of that top 250 or so player pool and bargains that you get. And the other thing that I wasn't I'll never forget going forward, but the other one was Chris Towers got Blake Snell for $1.
Yeah, they talked about that on their podcast.
Yeah, he threw out Blake Snell for $1, and the whole room just froze. And then he got him, and then it was pointed out that there's IL spots, and for $1, I think that Blake Snell could be a huge value for Towers' team. I mean, he's already got Crochet and Alcantara. I'm not as excited about Joe Musgrove, but he's got Luis Castillo, Matthew Boyd, Trevor Rogers. Like, he has got a really nice pitching staff, and so I'm excited to see what he does this season with that, because I'm not looking forward to facing him if he's got 2 start pitchers any week.
Yeah, but that Blake Snell thing was a head scratcher. It's one of those things, like the way this draft works. Like if you draft an injured player, like he's in your starting lineup. Now we can make changes, but then you're drafting a pitcher. So 12 times 9. So whatever number that is, that's who you're starting while Blake Snell gets rehabbed, and so that was always my concern. Is like Blake Snell could be awesome for the second half of the season or whenever he gets right, but then that first half of the season, I'm not getting Lodolo, I'm not getting Gavin Williams, I'm not getting Emmett Sheehan. You know what I mean? Because you can't draft bench spots in this auction. So that I think that was my biggest concern. Like I would love to have Blake Snell for $1, but I instead went, but I need Lodolo, but I need Gavin Williams because these guys are going to start from day one.
Right.
And so that was my thought. Is it good logic? I don't know, but that's why I didn't bid him up.
Yeah, no, and I think I was just frozen because I thought he was going to be injured, and you really have to pivot. There's not to say the dumbest thing in the world, but you need to know the rules of the league that you're in, and that was just one thing that I didn't make that mental adjustment over, that there is IL. You're so used to when you're on NFBC, there's no IL spots. You're not putting somebody off of your reserves into a separate place for injured pitchers or players, that it clogs up a roster spot. And so next year when I go into this, I'm actually going to have a listing of injured players. There was a bid that so Frank Amarante had a lot of money, and at the end of Frank's draft, let me see if I can find the player that he bid so much on. He put $25 on Shane Boz, and I would have thought that $25 on like a Pablo Lopez, who's going to open up the season on the injured list. In this league, if you draft somebody who's on the IL and you turn them back in, you get 10 times the bid value for the first half of the season back as fab money. So that $25 would have turned into $250 of fab for him right away, which is a huge difference maker. If everybody's at $1,000 and somebody's at $1,250, that's a big hammer every time you go for a while.
That's a great point, and that's just, but one thing to consider, because you're right, because Fab's limited, and there aren't any $0 bids in this league. So
no,
yeah, and plus it's a 12-team league, so players are going to be available in the player pool that are going to come up, like Nick Kurtz last year, that can really, really, really make a difference. But that's just one of those things.
So let's talk about we finished the draft. We've gotten through it. What was the big thing that you felt like you learned or took away from that first experience in that room? What's the thing that you're going to carry with you next year when we draft?
Well, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. And I actually went and watched some of the live stream that Jason Collette did again, and just to kind of not relive the experience, but I'm like, oh yeah, just kind of see like, well, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that. So yeah, just like I said, I was too rigid on some of these values. I should have gone $1 more on some of those players. So that's the main thing, is that sticking to a plan is great, but you gotta, like you said, and you made this really good point, like it's like whitewater, like it's different, everything's different, and so your plan, you have to be able to change what you're doing, because like I didn't know Drake Baldwin was going to go for $10. That's $6 less than his AAV. So I should have adjusted that, said okay, now I've got $6 to put on another player that I can go for, and I didn't do that. But that was my biggest mistake, I think.
Yeah, I kept hearing before our draft, people would quote Mike Tyson and say, "Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth." Right?
Yeah.
That's, I think that Eisenhower, when he was a general of the American forces in World War II, had a quote, and I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically, it's that planning is everything, but plans are shit. That new information will ruin a plan because you have to adjust to that new information. So the planning process is important, but you have to always be reacting to new information as you go through life, as you go through business, as you go through an auction draft. And, I think that that's really important. For me, I talked about it a little bit before, but there's this thing that it almost feels like it's a mantra. It's this foundational belief, especially when you're doing snake drafts and whatnot, that you get your guys, right? Like you are getting your guys. You are targeting certain players at certain places in the draft because you feel like they are going to provide the most success. And looking at a team like Ariel Cohen, who won last year, it was really interesting that he is so dispassionate about every player that he bids on, that it's literally, he's looking at a value for that player. And if he gets value for it, if he gets it for a better price than what he has the values for, he'll go for it. And if not, then he'll walk away from it. I really want to take that on next year. I think this was my best, even though I do have a few Mariners. I think that this was one of my best for avoiding that kind of bias that I have, where I just really, we talked about it a few minutes ago. You want to have fun. Like, I'm playing this game to have fun. Like, I'm not playing this game for anybody else. This is for me to have fun, and I get to have fun based on the rules and the people that are in the league. And there's all these different variables that go with it. But the part of the fun is winning. Like, I want to win. I want to be able to say that I beat Ariel Cohen in a head-to-head points league. We're not, like, seriously.
Yeah,
and
I hear you.
I'm self-important, but man, I want to win this league. So I'm trying to get as much of that kind of thought process into my head, so that, I did go after Michael Garcia. I did go after Cal Raleigh. I do think that they're difference makers, but I'd really like to be able to go into next season with far more established values for players, and really a game plan for where do I pivot if this player goes for this much and I don't want that, then to go on, and find somebody else in that tier, find somebody else there. And so it just really, of course, you're always drafting the player that you feel is right. And, I don't think anybody in that room, even myself, was held captive to their biases in that way. But I want to be able to let it go a little bit more. So it was great. I mean, what are when you think, what are your last, like, we left the draft. What is the endearing memory? What is the concept in your head? Like, what are you holding on to this season from that tout experience?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say my favorite experience was when we were all just hanging out at that bar, at that Irish bar. Everybody's just having cutting up, having a few drinks, having a little, everybody's just hanging out, and and that was fun. Now the draft was intense, obviously, because it's moving real fast and you're trying to think on your feet. But like you said, this was only my second time in New York City, and where our hotel was, it's right next to Times Square. We're literally like in the touristy part of New York. It was filled
Vegas
with people.
New York.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. It was you couldn't walk down the street without 500 people walking by you. You know,
No.
so that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to go back next year. And I learned a lot too. Obviously, I'm not an auction specialist by any stretch of the imagination, so I did learn a lot. But you know, that's just how experience goes. How about you? What was your favorite takeaway? Was it the karaoke thing? Because I remember Frank was telling me how much fun he had. He was like, "Yeah, man, I was singing Weezer, Saint Ain't So."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
hell yeah, you were.
Oh my God. And Chris Towers did Oasis, Never Look Back.
Oh, yes.
Sang Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats, Son of a Bitch. Like it was a good time. That's more for like that. I would say that memory of that evening is something that like is just for me, you know. I was really it was fun to be in the room when it happened, like I said earlier, right? Like to be in that space. I think the things that I took away were, one, auction drafts are so much fun. Auction drafts are, not to put it in a tier system, but I would much rather do a live auction than any other draft now. Like that was probably the most fun I've ever had putting together a team. And so that was great. The second thing was the last night, Sunday night. It was, again, Steve Kaz. It was Frank Stanfill. It was Justin Mason. It was Daniel Salinger and me. And we ended up at a bar for a couple hours. And it was just the conversations, you know, like you were saying, you meet these people and they start off as acquaintances and you realize that you are going to see them again next year, that these people are actually becoming friends of yours, that these are people, like I've texted a couple people and called people that I was at Tout Wars with that I never would have thought that I would call them or talk to them in the ways that I did. And so it was a humbling experience for me. I really loved it. And I'm all in. Like the thing that I took away is that this is what I'm going to be doing every March for the rest of my life, as long as they have Tout Wars and baseball is being played. Right. Like I can't imagine doing it any differently than that. So it was awesome.
It was great. The New York City was that whole vibe was cool. Everybody I met was cool. You were there, obviously. It was great to see you again in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It was great. There's nothing I want to do more than go back next year for as far as fantasy baseball goes. But
that's right. And 25% of that room was Pallazzo, baby.
Yes. Come on, one of us win this league. What do you say?
Yeah, the Beat Ariel Cohen League.
We're taking you down, Ariel.
Said with love. Love.
All good fun. All good fun.
So tonight you have another podcast that you're going to be doing. You want to talk for a couple seconds about your next broadcast? You got double duties today.
Got double duties. So do you remember a podcast called Dingers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Robbie Baseball and Tyler Childs had a podcast called Dingers. So it was one of my favorites. And so we are getting the band back together with the Dingers guys and me talking catchers preview, because it really annoys Robbie and it's really funny. He hates talking catchers. He has a vendetta against catchers. So Ty and I decided that he's going to do a catcher preview, and he's a really good sport about it. But yeah, that is at 5 or 6 p.m. Central, I believe, or maybe it's 5 p.m. I don't know. It's check. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and then it'll update you and let you know. But I'm 99% sure it's 5 Eastern. So please follow us, and then watch me and the Dingers guys talk everything of fantasy baseball and catcher.
I love that. Tomorrow night we have the last Pallazzo Big Three Next Three coming up, and I don't even know. I can't find the rundown sheet on my sheet of documents, so we're just going to have to say that it's going to be three fun teams. It's the last 3 teams for us to go over, and I'll be doing that with Big Gentle Ben. will be tomorrow doing that. And then
I love that show. I tune in. I try every chance I get because y'all do such a fun, great job.
I feel like the court jester among two really smart people. Those guys know their shit. We're not going to get Robbie baseball. He's not going to be able to be there. It's just me and Big Gentle Ben. So you're going to get to hear Ben's knowledge and my idiocy, so to speak. So we're looking forward to that. And then Wednesday is real baseball. Wednesday's real baseball.
Yep, Yankees and Giants, I believe. Is that right?
How can you not feel romantically about baseball? It is coming. The spring is here.
So close.
Oh my God, there is nothing better. I can't wait for next Tuesday when I'm at T-Mobile and I get to smell the grass and the beer and the hot dogs, and I get to hear the bat and the ball and the chatter on the field. The tickets that I've been given are between home plate and third base, 20 rows up from the field. So I'm going to be able to see all that shit in the infield. Let's go, man. I'm super pumped. So you can tell where my head's at. I'm already trying to figure out what I'm going to wear next Tuesday, how I'm going to get there, what my pregame routine is going to be. Yeah,
I want to shout out. Right, I know we're wrapping up, and I gotta go. My daughter and I gotta go see her. But shout out Anthony. Imagine if I won it all. I'm rooting for you, brother. Anthony did the proxy for Michael Govier. So I wish you the best.
That's right.
It was great to meet you,
Anthony. That is a huge shout out before Britton has to run away and we end this. That Anthony was just solid. Like that guy was. You could tell he had no nerves, man. He was all he wanted to do was win. I think he
took Schwarber from me and a bunch of good players, Anthony. Actually, I'm kind of mad at you a little bit.
Yeah, well,
a little bit.
I think he did Govier pretty solid. I think Govier's got a good team to play this season. So.
One of my favorite teams was the team Anthony drafted.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here we are. We've come to the end.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about Tout Wars. Hopefully we'll be doing this exact same thing next year, Sam, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, you know it. Well, for Britton Allan out in Tennessee, I'm Sam Wirsching out in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for being with us today. And as always, peace and love. Ow.
Carlos Delgado.
Excellent choice. Too bad I got him 3 rounds ago.
You're still on the clock.
Oh, shit!
You gotta do something.
Yeah, Hideki Matsui. You just took my whole outfield.
Sorry, Charlie.
What is this?
Debbie.
What the fuck is this?
It's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives.
Your fantasy what?
It's our draft. For fantasy baseball. I told you all about this. Got Matsui.